Let's scroll through how Gen Z's favorite short-form video app became a flashpoint for global trade and tech sovereignty. The saga dates back to Trump's first term. He branded the app a national security threat. Then President Joe Biden called on ByteDance, the company in Beijing that owns TikTok, to divest its US assets or face a ban.
TikTok is being banned! China's stealing my information. Like, I'm an 18-year-old girl in Michigan. What am I going to do for China? Take my information. I don't care.
Under Trump's second term, the deadline was extended, leaving the fate of TikTok hanging in the balance.
We reached a final deal on TikTok.
Trump signed an executive order paving the way for new ownership based in the United States with a majority of American investors.
The TikTok ban is officially over, and now we finally have answers. Who owns it, what's changing, and what that means for your content.
Most important for Trump, those new investors would have control over the app's algorithm.
And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally.
It's about freedom, control, and how AI-driven algorithms influence the more than 183 million American users on TikTok, most of them young people.
All right, joining us from Danbury in Connecticut is Bill Holstein. He's an author, journalist, and co-author of Battlefield Cyber, How China and Russia are Undermining Our Democracy and National Security. Good to have you with us. So first of all, how much of an American takeover is actually happening in TikTok?
Well, it appears to be a sweetheart deal in which American investors, friends of the presidents, can obtain 80% control along with other investors and other sovereign wealth funds. But the actual control of the algorithms and the data has not been fully articulated yet. It appears that the intent is to allow the Chinese to continue to have access to the data, which may be stored in the United States, but still they would have access to it. And so one reason they may not be talking about this more is because they're going to face a lot of hard questions about, is it really an American takeover of the algorithm and the data, or is it a sweetheart deal that makes the rich even richer, but doesn't really interfere with the pattern of 180 million Americans addicted to a Chinese social media app?
So is this going to go through if it is, as you put it, the possibility of just a sweetheart deal, or do you see some wrinkles down the road?
Well, they have complied technically with the law that was passed by Congress and upheld by the Supreme Court. They have transferred corporate control of the entity to American investors, but they have not they appear not to have transferred control of the underlying technology and the data that it represents. So if they've complied with the letter of the law, they can say, we complied. We did what Congress and the Supreme Court said we should do. But they created a carve-out that the only reason the Chinese would agree to this is because they would have access to this tool in some manner, some fashion, or some form. It is an incredibly powerful, addictive tool that allows them to shape the opinions of more than half of all Americans.
And is that really what's at stake? Go ahead, I'll let you finish the point.
Not to mention the ability to eavesdrop on all their contacts, all their pictures, their usage has biometric. It collects biometric data, so it can see the face as it reacts to a video. So its recommendation algorithms are incredibly powerful, incredibly sophisticated. So it's a double-edged weapon, and the Chinese are apparently using it to great effect.
This is coming at a time when the US and Chinese negotiators are finding common ground on trade issues. Is that part of the reason why we're seeing a deal that hasn't highlighted or hasn't resolved some of those key questions? Is it because the bigger picture is two sides want to resolve this without getting lost on the nitty-gritty of some of these issues that you mentioned, which are not clear how they're being resolved?
Right. It's a complete mess. The U.S.-Chinese relations that still were being whiplashed in so many different levels. The Trump administration, for example, is taking down American cyber defenses rather than maintaining our cyber defenses against Chinese disinformation and social media attacks. So the Trump administration, in fact, is using TikTok to enhance its own messaging. So it seems like they have an unholy alliance when it comes to TikTok.
Is there a battle going on for the algorithm as well when you talk about influencing? Is that, one of the key points here? And what would this deal mean for algorithm, for content issues when you look at the role of companies like Oracle will take in TikTok, and you look at what's been reported in places like Dropsite about the leanings, the pro-Israeli leanings of some of the key Oracle figures like Executive Chairman Larry Ellison, is there reason to think that there will be some kind of fundamental shift in the content and algorithm?
No, I think the Chinese will still be in the driver's seat. And it has been alleged that they promoted more pro-Palestinian images than pro-Israeli images. And maybe one reason why there were so many protests in the United States. But I don't think that there will be an Israeli or Jewish takeover of it, because I think the Chinese will still be in charge.
All right, thank you for your analysis on that. Good to get your thoughts, Bill Holstein. Yes, and there's the book. He's an author and journalist of Battlefield Cyber.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.